I never thought I'd have the need to do a poem video here on YouTube, but maybe every channel should have at least one if it's needed. Now the reason why I didn't make one against him earlier was actually out of sheer pity. But after reading this in his video and seeing him push other YouTube users around for way too long, I think it's about time to put a cork in this loudmouth once and for all. Many people saw his video talking about how people hate change, and that people say this kind of thing every time some new changes happen here on YouTube. But what he doesn't tell you is how much he's agreed with me in the past, and he doesn't even know it. And yes, he's actually this ignorant. YouTube has made many changes over the years, and clearly some have been much better than others. Now let's take a look at one of the other YouTube changes debacles that happened back in December 2007. Now here's what we call a bell curve. Back in 2007, when YouTube made some changes that were pretty bad for the users, some of the people were here on the curve, and he was way back here. This was my first video ever that was critical of YouTube in any way. Clearly people showed a lot of support for that video as well, by posting over 7,000 comments to show how much they agree with that video and what it had to say. Not to mention that because of that video and many others, YouTube changed the site from this back to this, only to have the same problematic layout come back again, even though many people made videos clearly showing how this was not a well-functioning layout. I think you'll be very surprised at who actually agreed with me on this very same change. It only took him about a month to finally figure out what the rest of us already knew. So let's look at the dates of these two videos here. Here's when I made my video on the subject of change, and here's when he was finally able to figure out what we already knew. Now sure, he tried to qualify it with a statement about not jumping to conclusions, but if you already have an understanding of fire, do you really need to stick your hand in there to find out that yes, it's hot? Also notice this part here. This is a quote from the man himself who called you all morons. It's getting harder because YouTube made it so. He just said it got harder to get views. Why? Because YouTube made it so. So in his most recent rant, he called himself a moron as well. And fittingly so. This is what happens when you don't think, then do. This is the main reason why people come to my videos to get their news and not his. So they don't get their news a day late and a dollar short, Jim Cramer style.
Bear Stearns is fine. Do not take your money out. This is real. If there's one takeaway other than the plus 400 somebody, Bear Stearns is not in trouble.
From someone who clearly has to wait until his head is completely underwater to finally realize that he is drowning. He needs to stick to playing with Legos and leave subjects like this to people who know what they're talking about. This person in particular is telling you these proposed changes would affect nothing, has over 50,000 subscribers, and he's completely forgot how hard it is to start a new channel, especially these days. I hear he was actually featured for reading poetry on YouTube before, like he would ever get featured for that same video today. This is like AIG telling the general public, what recession? We're not feeling a recession, we just got over $160 billion. I have no idea what you're complaining about. The interesting thing is that even though he has over 58,000 subscribers, that only about 25% of those people still watch his videos. He's always been in the running for one of the worst cheats on YouTube, with over 20 videos with nothing but women in the thumbnail, to try and bait and switch to YouTube users into thinking they're going to see something like this, only to find that this was actually behind door number 3 all along. And if you look at the numbers, there's a drastic decline when they see that he's the one making the video. What's even worse is his delusional attempt to try and gain some sort of popularity by trying to attach himself to a well-known popular movie character. Now, I'll never know how he fit that face in that mask. Oh, and we do have one superhero that he does actually pull off pretty well, and I must give credit where credit is due. Nice. Well, 1 out of 4, that's not too bad. To be fair, I may have been wrong about one thing when I said he was the face of ignorance, because he is clearly the face of hypocrisy. And I guess it's okay for him to rant about a subject over and over again, but when others discuss the changes here, he gets all insecure because he thinks that he's the only one that should be able to talk about them. And if you look real closely at his videos, you'll see they do have one common thread. They are all self-serving ego trips, from e-begging to boobs. And the Oprah video of his pretty much says it all. While many other YouTubers were upset about this, he never understood why people were angry about it. They were not mad that she was here. They were pissed off because she pushed a bunch of YouTubers off the featured page to feature 3 of her own videos. And many users worked very hard to finally make it on that page, and YouTube brought her in and pushed everyone else to the back burner. That was the whole point all along. They were not mad that she was here. They were upset that they got pushed aside to make room for her. Got it? When a situation arises where there are two clear sides to choose from, he'll always choose the one with more money behind it. He's the pure definition of a self-serving corporate shill that will always side with money over principle. To give you an example at how his hypocrisy knows no limits, he made a video titled, "Are You a Crappy Person?" And in that video, he put in the description the following, and I quote, "What kind of person are you? Spend your time and energy using other people to try and make your own self-esteem better. Wow, you're lame and insecure. Sucks to be you." I wouldn't know, Nate. How bad does it suck? You've made videos all the time insulting people over and over again, and you made a name for yourself by being condescending to your very own subscribers. And he only made that video after he's trying to do some damage control after a case of domestic violence to try and quell the huge backlash that happened before that video was ever made. This is for all his diehard fanboys out there. You really need to take a closer look at the type of person you're subscribed to and know that every time you watch his videos, you're supporting the most manipulative YouTube users and paying him to insult you and you don't even realize it. And if you don't believe me, just watch his videos. It's all there for everyone to see. I just wonder if he's going to start removing them or changing the text to say something different. Now that he's been exposed for what he really is, an abusive, e-begging, cheating, perverted hypocrite that shouldn't even be a partner on this site anymore, after all the crap he's pulled.
No! No! Does not compute! Does not compute! Does not compute! I said, you bastards! I'll kill you! I'll kill all of you! All of you will die! You'll get the gas!
In the interest of full disclosure, I do have to admit that we actually do agree on one thing in particular, that there has been a problem with stupidity here on YouTube. And you say you've been looking for the cure for stupid. Well, you finally found it.